much more in video. I was curious why you chose training.
Yeah, well, so I wanted my results not to be too influenced by the pheromone trails laid down by the other ants. So ants communicate with other members of their colonies. And so sometimes if there's danger, if there's prey identified, they'll lay down chemical cues to communicate that to other members of their colony. So if there is some sort of watch out for termites pheromone, or just a trail pheromone, which is what they follow, a lot of the time that was getting laid down after the diversion of the termites. So like if the first few are like, oh no, termites, and then the other ones are like, oh, I'm going to follow these guys. Those last ones aren't avoiding the termites, they're just following the other ants. So I wanted to get rid of it.
If you had more time to pursue like another couple questions, was there like one or is there a certain area of research that you'd like to pursue a little bit further, or like?
Yeah, there's lots. One is I'd like to see what chemical is causing this, or what chemicals, so I'd isolate those and put different chemicals in just by themselves, like individual ones, and see what's eliciting this response. I would also see how far phylogenetically to the relatives of these animals this extends. So the last two FSP studies touched on this a little, but I didn't. How many of the relatives of Eceton burchelli army ants respond this way to the termites? And how much, I was only unfortunately able to identify this termitogenous, like, is this true for all Pseudotermes species? Would other well-defended termites be able to repel Eceton burchelli in the same way? If you were to take a colony of termites from a different area and put them into ants in a different area, would they still recognize each other in this way? One paper said that dealing with avoidance of soldier termites suggested that this behavior was actually learned, which is weird for ants. I didn't know that ants could learn things, and that was surprising for me. I always thought that everything that they did was innate, but they found that the prudence behavior that I described before was only elicited in repeat encounters with termite soldiers. So after it started to happen after a first contact. So seeing if that could be at play at all would be interesting as well.
Okay, so we need to stop there because I'm sure you talk all day for you like your aspirator or mouth powered. But we're going to stop there. So let's thank Benji again. Enough thanking Benji. And then let me just say one last time, for those of you who aren't on the Thugs Institute mailing list, I'm sure you'd be happy to add more people. Talk to Benji or Milo or Becca here, who's going to be picking up the torch for next year.
And Kat Mejia as well. These two girls are going to be the leaders of Thugs Institute of Science next year. So
this is I can't stress enough. It started out as a really fun thing, and it still really is a fun thing. But it's a movement that represents everything intellectually that I think we as Dartmouth people want to see happen off campus. It's just a really inspiring scientific venture. So thank you for that as well as for your talk. And with that, we'll take Benji off into the other room and flog you academically.